ऐसे देखो जो आपको सोने ना दे. The main challenge for Gujarati paper is how to complete the paper in time, because Gujarati paper is lengthy. So GS paper 2 has been the most unpredictable section of GPSC, I would say. And for 4 times when I saw GS2, I was like, what should I write in these questions? How should I deal with these questions? So that was my first reaction when I saw the paper in examination hall. Concepts are very important. Until and unless you don't know the concept, you won't be able to answer any question in economics. So going into an institution, paying a lot of fees, that is not my part of the strategy. I used to just study. I don't know for how many hours. My name is Srishti Ashok Sharda, and today I'll be sharing my strategy from the platform of Think More Strategy. So firstly, I would like to say that I've completed my graduation with BA in Economics from LD Arts College in Ahmedabad. And after completing my graduation, I started to prepare for Civil Services examination. For Civil Services examination, first I gave SPIPA entrance exam, and there I got SPIPA Ahmedabad Center. And from there on, my journey started. The goal or the motive, or you can say the source of inspiration for me to enter into civil services was my father. He is there in the civil services. He is associated with Indian Railways. So hence from here onwards I started with my preparation. Now I would like to share my strategy in 3 main stages, that is prelims, mains and interview. So firstly we'll go with the preliminary stage. In this we have 2 sections. As we know, we have 2 papers. So the first paper basically deals with polity, aptitude, history, culture, etc. So in this first paper what I did was I just made my core subjects, that is polity, Indian culture and history, very strong, so that I don't have to jump on other sections. For example, I used to leave the cultural part of Gujarat or the geography part of India, so that I can focus more on the core subjects. So from there onwards I started with polity first. For polity I referred Lakshmikant and also the NCERT books, that is 11th 12th basically. Then I started with the aptitude part. So mainly you can refer any book, for example the Arihant book or anything. For that I started, and then I went on for the culture part. So for the Indian culture we have 2 good books. One is the fine arts books, that is NCERT, and another one is Nitin Singhania. So that covers the holistic part is being covered. And also for Indian history we can, then if the time is left, you can refer to Poonam Dahiya books after reading NCERT books. But first the prior part is getting thorough with NCERT books. So this is all for the paper 1. But in paper 1 you just have to see which subject you can score more. So if you are comfortable with the history part, then go with the history part and prepare it well. If there are asked, for example, 30 questions from history, so you should be able and capable to at least correctly answer those 28 questions out of 30. Now moving on to the second part of the question, that is the second section. There the main part which plays an important role, that is current affairs. So for current affairs, as we all know, we have to move on to different subjects, different sources basically. So the first main source is any monthly magazine. I used to prepare with the Vision IAS monthly magazine. Then you can go with any other magazine. Then also for current affairs, the main part is newspapers, newspaper reading in English as well as Gujarati. And for Gujarati current affairs, we can focus on Pakshik, because that also covers a lot of events. Then after completing these current affair part, the next major chunk is from economics. For economics, my basic strategy was to focus mainly on the NCERTs, because NCERTs are macroeconomic NCERT, and also India's economic development, that is from 11th class NCERT. So those 2 books are must read books for any aspirant. And then apart from that, there are some topics which are to be covered from Ramesh Singh as well. For example, the inflation part, for example, the planning reforms of India. So such parts are to be covered from Ramesh Singh. So after reading these economics and the current affairs. Then we are left with science and technology. For science and technology, there are some topics. For example, there are some static portions of science and tech which you have to go through. You have to browse Google for that, and after completing that research and development, you have to definitely go to Vision IAS. So that is a good source from where you can cover this. So this is how I completed my section 2 as well. Usually it is seen that we score better in section 2 rather than in section 1. So your major part is covered in current affairs there and economics. So this is how the prelims strategy is all about. And secondly, the main part is time management for prelims examination, because you have to answer 200 questions. You definitely don't even get to read those 200 questions. That is why I said just choose your sections among paper 1 and paper 2 and try to get all those questions correct, and after that, when the time is left, you can go on to those sections which you are not comfortable with, but that is at the end of the part of the paper. Firstly, you have to get through all those questions which you know correctly. So this is all about the time management and the book list. And apart from these, you just have to go through all the daily editorials from any YouTube channel you are comfortable with, in English or Hindi or Gujarati, any. Apart from that, newspaper reading and making notes from the current affairs. These two parts are important. And apart from that, make sure that you have one book that is for schemes only, Gujarat schemes as well as Indian schemes, because they are mainly questions are asked from the schemes as well. So this is all about the preliminary examination. Main now comes here is main strategy. Mains is the main scoring thing from where we can be into the final merit list or we can be out there. So, and this is here that we are certain on almost all things and we have control over everything. So in this mains part, we have to give our best. That should be only goal. This is something we can say do or die situation for us. Okay, so now the first part is let's come to the language papers. First language paper is Gujarati. So in Gujarati, the main part is the main challenge for Gujarati paper is how to complete the paper in time, because Gujarati paper is lengthy for usually almost all the aspirants. So that is there. So what we do is when we start the writing practice, we just make sure that every day we write something for Gujarati. For example, in 1 hour, we are able to complete at least 3 questions. One is comprehension, one is Presi, or another is Vichar Vistar, anything. So we just have to cover any 3 to 4 questions in 1 hour. So that way, for every 1 hour, we can daily practice Gujarati writing. For reading Gujarati, for example, Pakshik magazine, it basically gives a lot of good words that we can use in Gujarati. It gives a lot of good lines. It also gives actually basically language of the government which is used, which is also liked by GPSC. So that we can learn from Pakshik. Apart from that, for current affairs, definitely one newspaper is to be read, and apart from that, listening Gujarati is very important because when you listen to Gujarati, you get more engrossed into that language and you are able to express better in communication skills. So this is how we can tackle with Gujarati. And apart from that, the main part is grammar. Gujarati grammar is something which you cannot mug up, so you need to understand that and you need to give time for that. So you will need at least 15 to 20 days to understand the entire subjects or the topics of Gujarati grammar part. So I would suggest there are some YouTube channels for that. It's not necessary to go to any class or you join any teacher or tutor something. You can definitely refer to those online YouTube videos that are helpful during Gujarati paper. For English paper, the main thing is excessive and extensive reading. And extensive reading comes from newspaper that is Indian Express or Hindu, whichever you are comfortable with. So that completes the English language holistically. Apart from that, grammar is comparatively easy to tackle in English subject. So there are some books also, and and there are some YouTube channels also. And apart from that, you can just refer the previous year papers of toppers, so that you can understand that how suitably the Indian English grammar can be tackled. So English is basically not a problem when it comes to language. The main issue is with Gujarati only, and apart from that, time management in English paper is also quite easy to handle. Then the next paper comes as essay. Essay is basically a subjective paper where you can have an edge, because that is something which makes you different with other aspirants. So that you have to make it more scoring. So what I used to do is I used to practice weird sort of topics which usually Insights challenges gives, weekly challenges. So I used to think if I can write on the worst topic, then I could definitely be able to write on the good topics. So every 7 days, in every once in a week, I used to practice essay writing, and this practice I started before 3 months when the mains exam was about to come. So for essay, that is good. And secondly, what we have to do is there are some topics, for example, education, health, agriculture, women empowerment, police reform. So these are the topics which you should be handy with the notes. For example, in education, the schemes, the history, Indian history of education, all the international developments in the education field. So everything you should be thorough with it, and you should have at least 2, 3 or 4 pages of notes on that topic, so that you can use those topics as fodder points in your essay writing. So there are 2 basic steps. One is practicing essay writing, that is once in a week, and second is preparing fodder points for such important topics. And apart from that, in essay, the one more plus point is when we read a lot of things, we know that what an examiner could ask us. So what we can do is we can prepare our own topics, and on that topics we can write our essays. And for checking, definitely you don't need a tutor or something. You can circulate it among your friends, or you can discuss with your friends, or you can just surf on Google, or you can yourself check your papers and evaluate what are the points left out and what else needs to be covered. One more thing for essay is you should have a perfect writing style. How to start an essay is a very important topic. So I used to do it, I used to start with an anecdote. So either you start with an anecdote or a story, or you start with factual information, but remember that factual information should be from the authentic sources. For example, if there is ease of doing business, so ease of doing business index, you should know that rankings, you should know who is publishing that. So you should always mention those things, and that authentic information and facts should be mentioned in essay paper. So this is all about the essay paper. Yes, one more thing should be remembered is in essay paper that you should end it with optimism. For example, there are government schemes, there are Indian or Gujarat or international developments. So you should complete it in a positive manner. You should leave it that yes, we are doing good and we'll be doing good that way. So this is about the essay paper. Then comes GS1. GS1 was for me, like, I was very much scared from where to prepare, how to prepare. There are lot of sources, but when you come to read and when you come to problem solving, there are less number of sources. So but the point is from where to prepare and how much to prepare in GS1. So GS1, basically we have Indian history and culture and Gujarat history and culture, and apart from that we have geography. So these are the pillars. Firstly, let's discuss about Indian history and culture. Indian history I covered mainly from the NCERT book. After reading NCERT books, after completing those, I read Spectrum. Spectrum is once you go through it thoroughly, so you are well versed with the fact. And apart from that, there is one more good book, that is Poonam Dahiya's book. So that is, if time suggests or if there is time, then you can definitely go to Poonam Dahiya. Otherwise, Spectrum and NCERTs are enough. And apart from that, next comes the Indian culture part. So for Indian culture part, as I already mentioned in prelim strategy, NCERTs and Nitin Singhania. So these both are enough. Apart from that, in Poonam Dahiya also, there is cultural developments are given in chronological manner. So you can also go through with it. And apart from that, for Indian culture, the main part is that you should know how to draw things. For example, if a temple architecture is asked, so you should be able to draw that Nagara style, Dravida style of temple, that Gopurams and exactly. So you should be able to show that. So that is good in fetching marks, definitely. For stupa, if it is asked, so you should be able to draw that stupa, that toran and everything. So this is all about the culture part. Then we come to the Gujarat culture and history. So for history, there is any book you can refer. There are many reference book of different. For example, I used to read Ishwar Padvi's book. So in that, almost all facts are covered, and the information that is there, that is very basic information, but it covers the entire syllabus. So that is enough for us. And for culture, we have for prelims, you can definitely go to Hasuta Ben's book. But for Gujarat culture, when it comes to main strategy, you should always read with Joravar Singh. That is a must-read book. And apart from that, some topics like cinema and all, that is from the Vishwakosh. So these two are the major books, and I really suggest that for Gujarat culture, make a thorough notes, because those notes you can easily revise, because there are a lot of things from Gujarat culture, and GS1 basically focuses on Gujarat culture. So you should make good quality notes, and you can revise that thoroughly every time, so that you are handy with the revision. And also there is no because at last moment you cannot just jumble onto every book. So those notes would be very helpful. I also made notes for that. Apart from that, for Gujarat culture, what is important is just take syllabus and take the previous year question papers. Go one line. For example, tribal culture. So on tribal culture, what they have already asked and what they can now ask. So that prediction for GS1 and especially for Gujarat culture is very important. I countered that paper with this strategy only, that I used to ask questions to myself, that okay, this is asked, so what can be asked now? From this topic, this has been asked, so what can be asked now? So you have to use this strategy for GS1 part, because the mock test series papers and what sort of questions they ask, actually those questions are never asked in GPSC. So you need to use your own brains, that how GPSC can form questions. Okay, so this is all about the culture and history part of Indian and Gujarat. Now come to geography. For geography, definitely there are some basic books. For example, NCERT, you don't have to go to any other book for Indian geography as such. Then we have for Gujarat geography, you can go with Manjula Ben, or you can use any reference book, but make notes of it, and thorough revision is enough. Majorly not so many questions are asked. What questions are asked, that are basic and any aspirant can answer that, and any aspirant can fetch marks. So geography is not a problem that you can't deal with. Main part is culture and history for GS paper 1. So this is all about GS paper 1. Now we come to GS paper 2. So GS paper 2 has been the most unpredictable section of GPSC, I would say, because every time you don't know what they can ask in ethics, what they can ask in puppet, what they can ask in polity, because we all think that GS2 is something that we can deal with. But when we see the question paper, because I have appeared in GPSC for 4 times, and for 4 times when I saw GS2, I was like, what should I write in these questions? How should I deal with these questions? So that was my first reaction when I saw the paper in examination hall, and I guess every aspirant thinks so. For that GS2, the simple main strategy is, while you are reading polity sections from Lakshmikant, try to connect those sections with the current affairs polity. So that correlation of core and current is important in GS2 as far as polity section is concerned. Now let's come to the governance, public administration part and ethics part. For ethics, there is lexicon definitely, and apart from that, there are some YouTube channels which have these 15 to 17 videos on some topics. What is a good part for that YouTube channels is, they give a lot of examples, and in ethics papers that is important, how good you can relate it with examples, and those examples should be definitely real lifetime examples. For example, examples of some officers or anything related to their work. So that plays an important role in ethics paper. Then for public administration and governance, there is no basic material as such. Yes, there is vision, value added material, etc. But what I used to do is, I just browsed all the topics which were there in syllabus, and I googled them, and I jotted out all the important things, and I made notes for public administration that way, and I used to read those notes only. But the important part is here. For these two topics, that is ethics and public administration, we have the Vision Mains test series. In Vision Mains test series, they give these question papers on governance and public. So you can just pick up those questions. You can see the answers. They have solved papers as well on the internet, and that is free of cost. So you can browse those answers also. So you are able to know that how to answer those questions, how to deal with those questions. So that is how the another section of GS2 is covered. So in this, basically you have to read and you have to correlate. You have to correlate with current affairs. You have to correlate with real life examples. That is the main strategy of GS2. And GS2 is easy to handle with. Just make sure that whenever you are given the question paper, just don't panic, and try to write answers and give your answers with maturity. And that maturity comes when you read others toppers answers, or you read Vision IAS solved papers, etc. So that is all about GS2. Now come to GS3. GS3 is the most dynamic paper of the GPSC in mains. So what we have to do is that is divided into economics, science and tech, and the other part is current affairs and international relations. So for economics, the best source to conquer with the facts, to conquer with the basic concepts of economics, what is primary deficit, fiscal deficit, what is government budgeting, what is capital account, current account. So that whole part is basically covered in NCERT, and you should read that in prelims also once and in mains also once, because those concepts are very important. Until and unless you don't know the concept, you won't be able to answer any question in economics. That is based on my experience, as I will say. So while you are giving those economics, so you read that. And for mains, the main part is India's economic development. That book is very important, and that is that completes the Indian economic history, basically post independence of economic history. So that is important. And apart from that, for economics, you just take the syllabus and you just think of what all topics can be asked as per the current context, because it is a dynamic paper, so it will be related to current affairs only. So you should know what will be asked. So that way, from economics core and the current affairs, so whatever you think can be asked, you just make questions of that and you answer it by yourself. So that is the economics part. For science and tech, the current affairs are already there in Vision IAS or any monthly magazine which you are preferring. But there are some topics which we need to be prepared from history of science and tech. For example, the space technology history, the nuclear history of how we have come to that the third nuclear stage, or that way. So you should browse those topics and you should just write notes on it, so that you can remember. And those actually nobody ask about the science and tech history, but you can always use that for enriching your answers. So that is important. Basically, you need to make your answers different from others. That way only you can lead to in top list. So that is the main thing for which science and tech is important. Then we come to the current affairs and international relations. For current affairs, obviously Vision IAS is there, but apart from that, you need to be thorough with the daily editorials, the daily Hindu editorials, that are very important, because what these YouTube channels do is they completely cover the topic from the history, from its core, what is the current happenings related to that subject. For example, if there is anything related to the governor, so they'll just complete the entire governor topic in a holistic manner. So that is very useful for you. For GS paper 3, for example, they can ask anything in current affairs, so you should be able to relate with that. And for international relations, already the Vision IAS is covering, and apart from that, some editorials from Indian Express, sometimes they are useful while you are reading. So this is how we can complete with GS3. For GS3, one main thing is that you should be able to make questions out like what they can ask. For example, in international relations, what has been the latest development which can be asked by GPSC and which is important for India too. In economics, for example, if there is a 5 trillion economic goal, these such things are going on, then you should know that okay, 5 trillion economy they can ask. So you already make notes of it and you can use it in your answer writing. So now let's come to the final part, that is the interview part. So when the results come and we see our number in mains list that we have been called for the interview, then we are really happy to see. But here is not the end. We have to prepare for the interview and we have to come into the final list. That is the main goal. So interview preparation is basically very important. Interview preparation basically deals with 4 main pillars. Firstly, what has been your educational background, what is your job profile if you are working, what are their current happenings, that is anything related to current affairs, and fourthly it deals with hobbies. So these 4 important pillars are there around which your interview goes. So the first part is what is your job profile. For example, I completed my BA in economics, so I thoroughly went through all the economics related information, what has been the major changes in India or at the global level, who have been the Nobel Prize winners from India, and such sort of information you have to prepare. For example, you are from engineering background or the law background or any background, so you have to be thorough with your background first, because that is what is important from the panelist perspective. Then is job profile. So the panelist definitely want that one aspirant should know what he has been doing since 1 year or 2 year or 3 year, or what have been your job experience. For example, they asked questions from me regarding my department. My department was food and civil supplies. So my interview started with what is NFSA Act. So this is how the panelists have expectations. Then is current affairs. So in current affairs, it is not important that they ask what is basically going into the current affairs. They can also ask you from the GS. For example, I was asked in my interview what are the socio-religious reform movements of 19th century, and also tell names of some reformers. So you should be thorough with all the information. It's not just about the current affairs, what has been happening today or tomorrow or yesterday. They also, for example, they asked about the CAG, they asked about FR and DPSP. So they can revolve your interview around anything or everything, but you should be confident and you should be peaceful and calm. And if you don't know any answer, then you can simply say, sorry panelist, I don't know, and I'll prepare about the answer. So that is enough. It's not important that you answer every question in interview. What is important is your confidence level. What is important is how you present yourself before the panelists, how you present your thoughts before the panelists, and how you are perceiving their questions and how you are answering, the way of answering. That is very important in interview part. Apart from that, you don't try to bluff the panelists because they are experts. They know when you are trying to bluff them. So be true to yourself, be true to the panelists, and be honest and be yourself in the interview. That is the main part. And for interview purpose, I would suggest that if you are appearing for the first time, then definitely you should go for 1 or 2 mocks. Why? Because mocks are not necessary because they tell you about the type of questions. Mocks are necessary because they tell you how to build your confidence, how to be present, how to present your answers when you are under pressure. So that is important, and that is why I also gave mock in different institutes, but I never took coaching from there. As per my view, taking coaching for any GPSC class 1-2 exam is not necessary. We can with our own self, from self study, we can be able to conquer this exam. What is important is you are reading it for 12 hours or for 15 hours, and 24/7 it should be going around in your mind that yes, this can be asked. Okay, from this topic I have read this today. I have read about the fishery summit which held in Gandhinagar just now. So what can be asked? What are the fisheries development? What are the coastal areas of Gujarat? So that should be the strategy. You should be thorough with what are you reading. So 24/7 that should be in your mind. It's not necessary that you are going for any coaching, because coaching people, they can't claim and they can't be confident over you that you can pass the interview. Only you can be confident in yourself, only you can believe in yourself. So what is important is your own strategy, your own preparation. Okay, for guidance you can take the guidance from the toppers, from your friend circle, or from any near or dear ones which are there into this field. But it's not necessary that you are going to coaching. For example, for mains mock, people go for mock test series, and they take up they keep a tutor for language subjects or something. So that is really not important. Amongst your friend circle also you can circulate your papers and you can get it checked, and you can because they are your real competitors, your friends are your real competitors. So from there only you can learn from your mistakes, and from there only you can work harder. So going into an institution, paying a lot of fees, that is not my part of the strategy, but then it is up to the aspirants. Yes, for mock interviews you can definitely reach out to one or two institutes whenever you are comfortable with. That's it for the interview strategy and also from the institute perspective. Now what should be everybody asks what was your schedule, how much time you used to give every day. So basically in my schedule what was important is that I used to just study. I don't know for how many hours, but I just used to study. That is what I remember. I used to just sit in one room with all my books scattered, and I used to just read. For example, and I used to make a micro planning. For example, in this week I will do GS1 this much part. For this week I will do this much part. So such micro planning should be adopted for every aspirant. Apart from that, there are 2 to 3 hours before 2-3 months of the mains. What you have to do is you have to take it out for the answer writing. For example, answer writing in the GS paper, answer writing for mains, and essay paper, and answer writing for the language papers. That is very important. So for language, 1 hour every 1 hour, for Gujarati every 1 hour, for English then 1 to 2 hours for answer writing. Any answers, sometimes I used to pick up GS1, sometimes GS2, sometimes GS3. So you pick up any 5 questions. I used to pick questions from Telegram channels. There are various channels, they are putting their questions every day. So whichever question I used to like and I used to think, okay, this can be asked, this is a good question, I should attempt on it. So those questions I used to pick and I used to write answers on that. So that way you can do, or you can make your own questions. Or one thing which is best for the question picking is take the syllabus, take the current affairs, and see each and everything. For example, in index, for example, the World Competitiveness Report that is mentioned in the syllabus itself of the GS paper 3. So that can be asked. So you should know who prepares that index, what is the ranking. So just go through it, and then answer writing should be there, done on that. So that is how you just pick one topic and you see if there is anything related to that in current affairs. So you pick that question and you can answer that question. Making your own questions was very important, because you have to get into GPSC's mind to understand what they can ask. And for that, very important is getting through syllabus and getting through previous year questions. So this was all about how to write the daily answer writing practice. So for at least 4 hours you have to keep in an entire day for answer writing, and it includes the language paper, it includes essay, or it includes the GS papers. For essay you don't have to practice daily because you don't get that much time. What you can do is you can pick one topic, you can prepare a mind map on that, or you can prepare fodder points for that, and you can keep it so that it can be helpful when you are revising for GS paper, the essay paper, and then weekly practice of essay papers. So this is how the answer writing was prepared. Apart from that, reading, as I suggested, that micro plannings should be undertaken by the aspirants, and this is how we can complete with the syllabus. And second important is revision. Instead of getting into the entire, I have to read this, I have to read from Forum IAS also, I have to read from Rouse also, I have to read from Insights also, I have to read from Vision also. That is not important. What is important is what you are reading is you are able to perceive that, and you are able to interpret that information into your paper, and you are able to reflect that information in your answers. So that is important. We can how much we can churn that data and how much we can use that data what we are reading, that is important. How many data we are reading, that is not important. So this is how I tackled with my GPSC class 1-2 exam. So for YouTube channels, basically I used to prepare my daily Hindu editorial from Rao's IAS Study Circle. So they give a very comprehensive kind of videos. They give everything into the 30-40 minutes of the video, so and that are available daily on YouTube channel, and that are free of cost. So this is the first thing which I preferred. Secondly, I used to browse with Forum IAS blogs. So they give editorials, for example 9 p.m. editorials, etc. So those were also important, so I used to browse those. Apart from that, for the prelims prelims practice, I used to browse on the Insights IAS. What they do is they give 5 questions daily for that practicing MCQs. So I used to prepare, I used to browse those, and I used to practice with those, because in those 5 questions there are 1 or 2 very weird questions, but I used to attempt on those, so that our mind works in different perspective in different areas. So that way I used to get into that MCQ practice. Apart from that, there were some, for example, Pakshik I used to read online, and apart from that, as such, I used to there are some Gujarati channels, news channels, which I used to like watch daily. Apart from that, there were Sunset TV videos. For example, they usually take some topic and they discuss about it. So that discussion was important, basically to understand and comprehend any topic. Those topics were basically of national importance, definitely not Gujarat specific, but we can definitely watch those in order to understand the topic holistically. So what I used to do is, you can read that Sunset TV video, that is also available, that summary is available on Insights, and those videos are available on YouTube. So in any case, you can browse those. That's it for the YouTube channels and the internet sources which I have used. Now the main part is that to be motivated in the entire journey, like how one can be motivated, because there are a lot of up downs. Once you pass prelims, your expectations are higher, your family expectations are higher, then you are not able to pass mains, then again you have to start the journey from the A. So you are again to back to square one. So that how you have to get through those ups and downs. So the main part is, whenever we start our journey, we started with a reason. We enter into civil services with a reason. For example, I am entering into civil services with some reason when I started this. Every aspirant has that reason. So that reason should be strong enough that would act as a pushing force for you every time. So whenever you are starting, for example, you reach till mains, you reach till interview, and then also you are not able to pass. So that reason holds you there, that no, I have to become civil servant because of this reason. So that reason acts as a pushing force for you at every stage of your life. And whenever there are ups and downs, just think once, why I started, why I have been here, why I have reached here. So those questions when you answer, so you definitely then that optimism fills in and you start with your preparation again. Another part is, there is a source of inspiration for everybody. My source of inspiration was with me 24/7, because my father was my source of inspiration. So I used to see him, I used to talk to him for a lot of time. Like for example, if I have not passed in mains, or I passed with interview but I did not fetch good marks or good rank, so I used to talk to him. So talking to your inspiration fills you with optimism, fills you with positive energy, and it tells you that how we can conquer with those ups and downs and how we can go ahead. So that optimism is very important when you are preparing, and that is what keeps you motivated. And apart from that, I would say, whatever you are doing, it's not just about the GPSC class 1-2, or whatever you are doing, do it with a reason, do it with some purpose. That purpose is very important. That's it, and this is what I wanted to say. And last, I would just end it, sapne aise dekho jo aapko sone na de. Thank you so much.